We all know we've been living on, oodles of cups of coffee, and we're with the right person, Navin Gurnaney of Starbucks, right here at the store in Kamla Mills. Navin, thanks so much for being with us.
Well, thank you. I'm lovely to be here.
And you look terribly cheerful for this time of year to be here working. And that's just it. I mean, you've actually come back to India after such a long stint. You were with Starbucks in the US.
Yes.
So talk to us a little bit about that, the experience, and really, you obviously must really buy into this entire Tata Starbucks experience to have come back and taken this on.
I tell you, I've never actually worked this long for any employer. It is an absolute joy to be a partner at Tata Starbucks. And I thoroughly enjoyed being at Starbucks in the US.
And you were there 9 years or so?
I was there for 9 years,
and
worked in different businesses, had the opportunity of being in the drive-through business, in operations, in partner resources. Had a fun time. And then this joint venture couldn't be a better match. Right? The companies, both Tata and Starbucks, are so like-minded, so into doing good while doing well, right? Really caring for their people. It's an absolutely perfect match.
Well, I can see that reflected in the atmosphere, of course,
Yes.
at Starbucks and all the cheer. And the sense of ownership really that comes from all the partners. But tell me, India has obviously become a lot more critical for Starbucks globally, especially as they've been battling a slowdown or a plateauing out, so as to say, in some of their global markets. So how critical is India going to be now? And I asked the same question, I remember when Starbucks first opened here all those years ago. How have things changed? Where do we stand?
So India is an extremely important market. It's the fastest growing market in Asia for us, right? We opened here in 2012, as you might recall, to a very warm welcome.
Yeah.
What hasn't changed is that the very warm welcome is there from our customers wherever we go.
Sure.
Wherever we go, right? So I feel really fortunate to be able to say that. So we opened really big, right? Within the first couple of years, we had about 75 stores.
Yeah.
And then there was a period of consolidation where we got the unit economics right. And then since 2018, we've been ramping up again. So 2018, we built 25 stores. 2019, we built 30 stores.
Yeah.
This year, the end of December is almost around the corner.
Sure.
We will get to almost 30 already with a quarter to go. So you know that we will beat last year quite substantially.
Okay, so does that also mean that you're closer to break even now?
That is the plan.
That's the plan.
Right now, there's always headwinds, and things shift around a little bit, but that's absolutely the intent.
So what was the learning from that time of 2016, 17, when you were struggling with the massive expansion at the time, and looking at the numbers then? What has been the learning? What's the difference now as you once again undertake expansion?
So I think the big learning was the footprint, right? Occupancy costs in India are so high. That we have to be able to optimize the size of the store. Now, this doesn't mean that we'll build only small stores. We don't. We built this gorgeous 3,000 square foot store in Vittal Malia Square in Bangalore, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's a beautiful store. So we'll do everything. We've been experimenting with different formats since then. So we've got stores in high streets. We've got stores in malls. We've got stores in hospitals. We've got stores in hotels.
Yeah.
Off-highway locations, in offices, stores within stores. So we've been, that's been the big learning that, horses for courses type of approach.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure. So how much more investment now are you looking at when it comes to expansion, when it comes to keeping things going, expanding into new markets as well? How much more investment are you looking at?
So we are. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
We are extremely bullish on India. Right.
Okay.
It's a terrific market for us. This year, we'll beat our annual operating plan substantially.
Okay.
We'll beat last year substantially. Next year, we'll beat that again, and the year after that, we'll beat that again.
Okay.
Now, I can't go into specific numbers, but I can tell you that we want to go wherever our customers want us to be.
So one of the places that you've opened up in is Gujarat.
Yes.
I want to talk about that because that may be a good example of the optimism that you're showing.
Absolutely.
So tell us about the story there, how people have responded, the kind of growth you've seen.
So we took our time about going to Gujarat. We were very cautious about how we select sites, right? So when we found the right individual locations, we opened 5 in one day, 3 in Ahmedabad, 2 in Surat.
Yeah.
And I cannot tell you how heartwarming it was. Again, without going to numbers, we completely blew away our estimates, and there were lines out the door. People have been extremely welcoming, and the enthusiasm continues. So subsequently, please.
This looks very exotic.
Yes, it does. This is we call the red hat frappuccino.
It's perfect for Christmas.
It is
I think.
indeed.
Yes.
In fact, this is one of the Christmas drinks.
It is. All right.
Yeah. So we opened
really good.
Vadodara recently. Also, in fact, this happened only about 3 or 4 days ago. Also, to some very warm applause. Absolutely.
Okay.
So Gujarat has been a really successful opening for us. We'll continue to go deeper into Gujarat.
Okay. And in terms of the average spend, has that gone up in years? I mean, recently we've been reading about how customers are more open to going out and spending on coffees and retail and sitting around.
This number I can't probably share because it's in the public domain. The average spend, average ticket is about 485 rupees, right?
Okay.
Now that's partly driven over the years by the inflation and other factors, but also by the attach with food, right? So we've just launched 18 new food items, which have been extremely well received. Some with your usual Starbucks Western orientation, and some things like masala chole wrap, which is also wildly successful.
Right.
So that contributes absolutely.
Yeah.
So in the food area, we keep a good balance. In the beverage menu, people expect us to be international, right? With food, they do like a little bit of localization, so we do it appropriately.
And you always hear that persistent complaint that the Indian Starbucks is not the same as the global Starbucks. And
I actually, in fact, I hear the opposite.
Sure.
Right? And this morning I met a gentleman here who said, I go to stores in New York, I go to stores in India. This is what I like about this. I walk in here, it feels like a Starbucks anywhere in the world. Yeah.
But the actual flavor of the coffee.
The beverages, so it should depend on what you're drinking, right?
Right.
So if you drink Kenya, Kenya is the same everywhere in the world. If you drink Ethiopia Sudamo, it's the same everywhere in the world. Sumatra is Sumatra everywhere in the world, right?
And yet somehow, but anyway,
try this.
No,
I'm having Sumatra.
I drink it a lot. But tell me, in terms of, when you're talking about this expansion and you're going aggressive, does that mean acquisitions as well? And there's been a lot of talk, as you know, about, possibly looking at some of CCD's assets and machine assets, for example. Would that be up for grabs?
So there has been a lot of talk, as you said, so I won't add to the talk, but we are, as I said, we are going to be thoughtfully aggressive in India, right? Okay. So when an opportunity presents itself, we evaluate it appropriately, and
okay, but would it be a strategic fit?
Almost never do you find something that fits exactly perfectly.
Okay.
Right? You got to make it fit, and if we are able to make it fit, as I said, we are open to all kinds of possibilities, right?
Okay.
I won't say anything more about that right now, but I will tell you that if there is an announcement to be made, you'll be the first to know.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that.
Yes.
But okay, what's the kind of value of acquisitions that you'd be open to? Since you are considering acquisitions and you're looking around, what would you be open to?
So we are blessed with a wonderful group of partners, right, who deliver a terrific Starbucks experience. But we're also blessed with 2 very well-to-do parents. Right? So if the opportunity is right, we're not going to hold back for want of capital. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. So in terms of talking about the group as well, how does the fact that Tata Global's restructuring, becoming more of a food company, what's this going to mean for you? How does it impact you?
Really, for us it's business as usual.
Okay.
I'm fortunate in that I have a board that that is extremely supportive, and I have a fair bit of autonomy, and Starbucks is been given the go ahead. Do your best, put your best foot forward. So for us, it's really business as usual. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any, I mean, even integrations or anything else that could be in the offing, with regards to the restructuring, or is there absolutely no impact
Really,
at all?
it makes no difference. I mean, whether TGBL acquires X portion of, or takes an X portion of TCL or Y portion of TCL, makes no difference to us. We continue to be Tata Starbucks. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So tell us a little bit more about the Bangalore, the bungalow that you have created, and whether we're going to see more of such experiential offerings, because it's really become all about that. Even in India currently, coffee has become more of a experience, and we've seen a lot of boutique growers also coming up.
So I would strongly encourage you to go take a look, and I'll arrange a visit for you to that store. It's a beautiful store, literally at the intersection of Main and Main. It's 2 levels, almost 3,400 square feet, and you can experience all kinds of Starbucks offerings there. There's Nitro, there's Chemex, there's Siphon, and there's all kinds of different coffees from different parts of the world. And the beauty of that store is that every partner that works there is a coffee master. So they've gone through some intense training to truly understand the subtle nuances of coffee. Most stores in India have 2 to 3 coffee masters. We've got about 225 coffee masters.
Okay.
That store, if you're going to work in that store, you have to be a coffee master. So it's a great experience. You go there, you sit down at the coffee experience bar, and they'll share with you the same coffee brewed in different methods, and you can truly recognize, even if you are a novice, you can truly recognize the subtle nuances of how the brewing method makes a difference to the coffee. Yeah.
So what are
we've got many of these stores, so it's not just Bangalore. Ahmedabad, we've got some really gorgeous looking stores. So people come to us for 4 reasons, I'll tell you. Number 1 is for the coffee. I mean, we have the world's best Arabica coffee, but that doesn't mean that others don't have it, right? We've got some really good coffee, but people come to us not just for the coffee, but also for the human connection. When people walk in, the partners frequently know what they drink. The drink, they start making it even before they actually get to the point of sale system. They know their name. Right? The human connection is what brings them back. The third reason they come to us for is the ambience of the store, the design of the store. Like, for example, in Bangalore, we've got local art on the walls. Wherever we open these kind of larger stores, we always engage local artists so that people can create a connection with that store. So design is an important element of our business.